Well, it looks like we start off with Merlin Wendelbo, who seems to be a bit miffed, which certainly not something I would like to see happen. So let's just see what he has to say. I think this is the third try for this question, and it's gotten votes in the past. All right, then. How can we contact someone like Rush or Donald Trump and suggest that a consortium of Rush and Donald Trump Jr. and maybe the Koch brothers should buy YouTube and keep it as an uncensored, fairly monetized free speech zone? Follow-up. Is it possible to use net neutrality laws to force YouTube and Facebook to treat all opinions in an unbiased manner? That's a good question. First of all, I don't know what YouTube would cost even if it were for sale. I'm relatively certain it wouldn't be for sale under any circumstances. But while the Koch brothers have a decent hunk of money, they got enough money to buy the New York Times, I think, without any question. YouTube is owned by Google, and Google is second or third richest country in the world, and that's just not going to happen. But a much more important reason why it's not going to happen is because the Koch brothers are never going to, even if it was available for some crazy small number like $10 million, I don't think they would do it. Maybe if you had Rush on board and you could convince them that the thing would make money, but unless you could convince them that it would make money, then they wouldn't do it. And if you want to know why the country is disappearing down the drain, it's because the people who we are fighting against, who want to take all of your money for their socialist paradise, and Bernie Sanders can have his 3 houses and drive a $170,000 sports car using your money, those people are ready to spend on things like messaging and the culture, and our people aren't. And that's that. This is something it's a wall I've been banging my head against for the last 8 years, 9 years now, trying to convince people that this, that you can either part with some money now to get out there and fight the $18 billion that George Soros has put into this, and everybody else, of course, or you can not do that and then wait a couple years and they'll come and take all your money. Which one do you want? And they would rather have B. If somebody knows how to run this show at a profit, then or this company at a profit, you let me know. It's really, really hard to do this. And it never ceases to amaze me that the side that's trying to hold on to the taxes and trying to keep having all of this stuff robbed from them is, and the side that's seeing all the damage that's being done, they're over there cheering every day something groovy happens for them. But for us, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And it makes me wonder, at what point does it have to get bad enough for people to take it seriously and do something like buy YouTube? And I think the answer is never. It's never going to happen. We'll just have to do it on our own. Again, it's the rock. This is the boulder that I and everybody else on this side push up the hill every single day. Every single day, and pretty much every moment of the day, we are worried about trying to find a way to keep people convinced that this is not free and that it is something that that is important and needs to be done. And 1 person in 1,000 gets it. 1 in 1,000, maybe. If you're one of those thousands, thank you. So, as far as net neutrality goes, Merlin, that's not a risk I want to take. Although, look, net neutrality is just a bad idea, period, I think. However, there is a case to be made, certainly in the case of Facebook, likely Google, and probably YouTube, but without question Facebook. You could make the case that Facebook is a communications medium and therefore is subject to the same regulation that telephone companies or TV networks could be. I'm the last guy. I'm in the back of the line calling for government regulation. I personally think, and I don't know anything about the law. If I did, I'd be a lawyer. But it strikes me that the way I would handle it if for the publicity, that's something I do know something about, if for the publicity and the imaging, if for no other reason, I would sue them for fraud. That's what I would do. I'd make it a civil suit, a class action suit, and I'd sue them for fraud. And the reason I would sue them for fraud is they are meddling with the product without telling us. Unless anybody's actually read the terms and agreement for Facebook. I don't remember being apprised of the fact that conservative comments will be squashed or squelched or barred. And when I signed up for Facebook, if I'd known that, I wouldn't have signed up for them. And to me, that sounds like a pretty convincing case for defrauding people. They're taking money from everybody, but they're spreading the message of half of those people, and the other half of those people are being squashed. Strikes me as a pretty clear case, So there we go. So that's what I would have to say about that one.